Okay, so for the third episode of What's Next in Food and Ag podcast, we have Kennard Lin, Vice President Sustainability Solutions at TRST01. Welcome to the show, and thank you for joining us, Kennard. Very, very nice to have you here with us. So, trust and transparency in the food and agriculture supply chain, isn't it?
Yep, it is. So my name is Kennard, Vice President of Sustainability Solutions at TRST01. We are a sustainability technology company focusing on really enabling traceability, ESG reporting, and carbon management across supply chains, particularly in food and agriculture. So I think
Perfect.
what makes TRST01 unique is that really our solutions are designed to be modular, tamper-proof, auditable, and scalable. So companies, be it smallholders to multinationals, can all meet global compliance requirements and unlocking new opportunities in trade and finance. So at the end of the day, beyond technology, we are also deeply involved in terms of the on-ground implementation, working directly with farmers, cooperatives, and industry players to ensure real-world impact.
Okay, and the company has operations currently in India, Southeast Asia. How many different countries are you guys operating right now?
Yeah, so we actually have presence over 10 countries, ranging from India, Singapore, Dubai, US, in Southeast Asia, primarily Vietnam, Thailand, Cambodia, Laos, etc.
And talking a little bit about you, why do you do what you do? What's the deeper problem or opportunity that actually drives you to do the work that you do?
Yeah, so I've been in the agriculture industry the last, 10 to 15 years. I think what drives me is really the opportunity as well to solve one of the biggest challenges in agri, as making the supply chains inclusive and credible. I think a lot of times the smallholders are actually left behind because of compliance is costly or complex. At TRST01, we want to democratize our technology and make it possible for everybody to access international markets. We want to give governments or corporates the data they need. I think it's about creating a system where sustainability isn't just a barrier. I think it's really how do we use sustainability to enable growth.
And you guys use blockchain as well, right?
Yes, that's right. That's the backbone of technology in a sense, to make it auditable and tamper-proof.
And what's one lesson you've learned over all these 10, 15 years about building in food and agriculture that you think that others should hear about?
Yeah, I think one key lesson is really technology alone is not enough. I think in food and ag sector is really about trust. How do you build trust through partnerships with the farmers, with the cooperatives, processors, and even regulators? So I think the idea is how do we co-create with the ecosystem. So if you just build in isolation, I think adoption rates tend to be low. But if you embed some of the local realities, how do you align with some of the policy and buy requirements, then I think that's where you can start looking at achieving scale.
Yeah, trust, I think, is obviously a key part of any type of business, food and agriculture especially when you're dealing with farmers. Can you give us an example of how you guys are working to build trust across the value chain, starting from the farmers?
Yeah, I think a lot of times it's really having people on the ground to really socialize with the farmers, really putting time to telling them, informing them what are the current trends. If you want to advise them on, for example, new practices, they've been doing it for a number of years. Their parents have been doing it, their grandparents have been doing it. So the idea is how do we convince them that based on the current science, what is happening, how do we provide demonstration, demo plots, etc. So it's really going down on the ground, talking to them and socializing to them and educating them step by step.
And how do you guys achieve scale at doing that?
Yeah, one thing is actually working with government initiatives. So like I said, we need to work in an ecosystem. So by working with the government, I think that's where the scale comes in, because at the end of the day, we need government to come in to support some of the farmers, to support them in terms of knowledge, in terms of finances, etc. So it's really an ecosystem play to help achieve scale and not just alone.
And what do you think is or are some of the latest trends in the sector that TRST01 is working in?
Yeah, some of the biggest trends are really the trade and export regulations. So for example, EUDR and UCBAM. So where companies importing into Europe now need to prove evidence of certain commodities of whether they have been sourced from deforested regions or not. So we see that as one of the biggest product or biggest regulation that's at play that is due actually end 2025. So starting from 1st Jan 2026.
Okay, that's definitely a huge trend. Definitely creating a big impact on everybody's businesses, but especially on your business too, right? It gives you or a larger market base to go after, actually.
Yeah, it's a larger and it's a complicated marketplace. So what happened is a lot of the tire manufacturers, for example, may not know who their farmers are. because they buy
Right.
dealers and aggregators. So really the big work is really done to help them map the supply chain, helping them to understand where the aggregators, dealers are, collecting the relevant information to be submitted for EU, be it the geolocations, be it the confirmation of KYC in terms of the farmer indeed owning the land, etc. And really using satellite imagery and on-ground evidence to check whether the land has been deforested prior.
And what's next for Trust01 in the next 6 to 12 months?
Yeah, so I think in the next year, the big priority is, of course, helping companies to prepare for EUDR compliance ahead of the 2025 deadline. I think that's creating a real sense of urgency in the market. We are also focusing on scaling our entire product suite. So this includes things like digital MRV, monitoring, reporting, and verification, for carbon and biochar projects. We also have a product called Footprint, which enables company with ESG reporting, helping them to measure Scope 1, Scope 2, and Scope 3 emissions, and helping them to do regulatory reporting according to the various ESG frameworks. Last one that is actually in product now is we are doing what we call the extended producer responsibility as well for traceability. So tracing waste. So that's, I think, the next thing that is going to come up in the next few months, few years as well.
This is super interesting, especially in Asia Pacific. Waste management is so critical, right? And we need to find much better solutions for that.
Exactly, and policies are still at its infancy stages, so there's really a lot.
Yeah, absolutely, a lot of improvement possible for sure. And what made you say yes to the Further Summit?
I think what stood out is really the community and collaboration perspective. I think it's not just about showcasing, but how do we really build the real networks between corporates, investors, and even policymakers. So I think this really aligns with how Trust01 approaches growth, which is through ecosystems and really partnerships.
Great. We're super happy that you guys are joining the event soon. We're just a few weeks away. So thank you for the trust, right? And who are you hoping to meet at the summit? Who are you looking for? What kind of opportunities are you looking for?
Yeah, we would love to connect with agri-businesses. We want to connect with manufacturers, financiers, policymakers. So whoever has any compliance on sustainability or sustainability challenges, that's who we're looking for. Looking for essentially potential partners to work together, who can help us ultimately scale impact.
Amazing. We're working hard on that. And what would you say to the people that you're hoping to meet at the summit?
So let's not wait, I think, until compliance deadlines to get a reaction. Maybe what we should do is really work together now to build trusted, verifiable, and scalable systems. Meeting regulation is one part of it, but how do we also open up new opportunities in terms of trade, market access, and ultimately finance?
And to close our conversation today in one sentence, what should food and ag systems look like in the future for you?
I think food and ag systems should be inclusive, transparent, and in today's words, climate smart as well, where every farmer, every company is competing fairly, but then you need to protect the people, you also need to protect the planet.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you.
It was a pleasure to have you in the show, and I look forward to meeting you in Singapore now on the 3rd of November.
All right, thank you so much. Bye.